England does not look so different from Scotland.
Aye, they are sisters.
Queen Elizabeth, your cousin Mary has returned to take up her throne in Scotland.
The Queen!
My dear cousin Elizabeth, I hope we might meet in person, that I might embrace you. But ruling side by side, we must do so in harmony, not through a treaty drafted by men lesser than ourselves.
My dear cousin, let our nations cherish each other as we would. Two kingdoms united.
How did the world come to this?
Wise men servicing the whims of women.
Mary is our foe. We must never bow to her as we bow before you.
You have the boldness to doubt my judgment. She is only your queen if I should not produce an heir.
What is it like to have a man? With heaven's blessing, we bring an heir to Scotland and to England.
It is a clear provocation.
We must make war in Scotland.
So put your skills to use.
Do not play into their hands. Our hatred is precisely what they hope for. I know your heart has more within it than the men who counsel you.
You would do well to watch your words.
I will not be scolded by my inferior.
You're inferior.
Are you afraid, Henry?
No.
Good. Because our swords are not just for show.
We have a scourge upon our land. 'Tis a woman with a crown.
Your beauty, your bravery. Now I see there is no cause for envy. Your gifts will be your downfall.
Should you murder me, remember you murder your sister. And you murder your queen.
Mary Stuart is condemned to death by order of our sovereign Elizabeth, Queen of England.
How did it come to this?
There is news. King Francis is dead. Your cousin Mary has returned to rule in Scotland. She is formidable, madam.
So, she comes ready for war.
Not so. I may command armies, but tell my cousin that we pray for peace. I hope we might meet in person and resolve our destinies.
You must confront the truth, madam.
She has a claim to your throne.
You would have me depose the sister monarch.
It is either civil war there or civil war here. We have a scourge upon our land. A woman with a crown.
What says her brother?
His allegiance is fully with us.
There is no appetite for war.
And let us stir an appetite.
How cruel men are.
All I have done is try to unify this land. But they're trying to usurp my crown. A murderer, a traitor, and a queen. But I will be the woman she is not. We bring into this world an heir to Scotland and to England.
No one can know we meet. If you speak of it to anyone, I shall deny.
Be my boy's godmother. Be my sister.
Mary is our foe. We ask that we never bow to her as we bow before you.
You cannot raise an army.
Many times you have said I cannot do what I have done. Do not play into their hands. Your heart has more within it than the men who counsel you.
You would do well to watch your words.
I will not be scolded by my inferior.
You're inferior.
If you murder me, you murder your sister. And you murder your queen. How did it come to this? My dearest cousin Elizabeth, I hope that I might embrace you.
She is young, clever, confident.
But Mary is our foe.
She has a claim on your crown.
You would have me depose the sister monarch.
Do not play into their hands. I know your heart has more within it. If you murder me, you murder your sister. And you murder your queen. Your queen is in Scotland now.
Queen Elizabeth, your cousin Mary has returned to rule.
We have a scourge upon our land, a woman with a crown.
Tell my cousin that we pray for peace.
She has a claim to your throne.
You would have me depose the sister monarch.
It is either civil war there or civil war here.
They are trying to usurp my crown. Do not play into their hands. Together we could conquer all of those who doubt us. What now, sister?
Mary, Queen of Scots.
Mary Stuart is condemned to death by order of our sovereign Elizabeth, Queen of England.
How did it come to this?
Elizabeth, your cousin Mary has returned to Scotland.
Tell Elizabeth that we pray for peace.
Mary is our foe. We never bow to her as we bow before you.
If you murder me, you murder your sister. And you murder your queen.
Mary, Queen of Scots.
Queen Elizabeth, your cousin Mary has returned to take up her throne in Scotland. She is formidable.
Mary was very, very pretty, very charismatic, and grew up with this real confidence and security in herself.
My dearest cousin Elizabeth, I hope we might meet in person, that I might embrace you. Ruling side by side, we must do so in harmony, and not through a treaty drafted by men lesser than ourselves.
She had this light that just radiated from her. She was magnetic.
You dare touch a sovereign without her permission.
She's impulsive and daring. And Elizabeth, although she has a very commanding presence, is someone who is much more cautious and thinks and measures and weighs things up.
They were playing the same game in very different ways.
You have the boldness to doubt my judgment. You had better question yours.
I think Mary ruled with her heart and Elizabeth ruled with her head.
Mary, because of her humanity and because of how open she was with people, sometimes that was also her weakness too.
There are times for wisdom and there are times for love, but there are also times for strength.
In Saoirse and Margot, we have two young women at the height of their powers.
Josie was relentless. She said, I don't want you to play a queen, I want you to play a woman.
It is a huge responsibility to bring these two women to life.
I think we've got two of the most exceptional actresses of their generation in those roles.
Should you murder me, remember you murder your sister. And you murder your queen.
Queen Elizabeth, your cousin Mary has returned to take up her throne in Scotland.
Mary, Queen of Scots, decided that she was going to go and live in Scotland and rule it as its queen. She also had a claim to the throne of England.
My dear cousin, let our nations cherish each other as we would. Two kingdoms united.
These women were ruling when men called the shots.
Men constantly in the way, conspiring to keep them apart. For Elizabeth, particularly Cecil.
You must confront the truth, madam. She has a claim to your throne. His main objective, I think, was to maintain her position as queen.
Implore her to marry Lord Dudley.
She is not our subject.
Robert Dudley, the favourite of the Queen, is loyal to Elizabeth and has love for her.
Marry the beautiful Queen of Scots.
Do not ask this of me.
I play John Knox, who is the leader of the Protestant Church in Scotland. We have a scourge upon our land. Is a woman with a crown. He wasn't a fan of women in power. A modern eye might call it misogyny.
The English court thought it'd be a good idea to send up an Englishman, but Darnley, he's got ambitions of his own.
You'll be my queen,
Yes,
and I your king,
yes,
and your master.
my husband.
What is amazing is that you can hold up a story that is about two women who are trying to lead.
And I think that's obviously a great message to send out in any film.
Many times you have said I cannot do what I have done. I shall meet force with force.